Hey everyone, my name is Tove. Welcome back to my channel, Tove Lo Minutes, and welcome if you're new. Finishes February is over, and boy did I finish it. Happy end of February, or beginning of March, depending on when you see this. Sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. The kids are outside and I will join them in a minute. It's rare to have this weather, so we are definitely enjoying it thoroughly. I come to you from the Netherlands. I'm original from Finland. I moved here almost exactly 10 years ago. And I am a knitter, mostly. Definitely some crochet as well and other crafts, but this is a podcast talking about everything I do in sort of like 2 times in a month basis. So, I am wearing my first finished object. This week, there's a lot to talk about because, as I said, Finish It February was a real thing for me, for sure. I started the year with like 7 whips, and as of 3 days ago, I had only 2 left. And then, of course, I started new things, but I'll talk about that later. We'll talk about first what I'm wearing today, because that is indeed, as I said, my first finished object, and that's my Tekla. Tekla by Marianne Nørbo, a Danish designer. The pattern was free through Hobby. That's where I saw it first, and then I fell in love with the striped effect, both vertical and horizontal. I struggled a little bit with this pattern for sure, since it was a lot of purling, since I picked a yarn that I had in my stash that I wanted to get rid of, which was this supermarket mohair. It wasn't a joy to knit. I knew that going into it, but okay, I did it anyway. I have 2 colors, which then striped gives this beige toned effect, which I actually like really a lot. This is, as I said, like a mohair type of situation, so it's light. Right now it's quite warm because of that outside, so this is really the only, like the last moment I'm gonna wear this shirt in a while, I think. But it was a new construction for me, with the saddle shoulders that became the arms, and you had quite a rough increase from the shoulders. 2 row striped, and this panels with knit and purl. Last time I spoke to you, I think I had a sleeve done or almost done, and then I had 1 sleeve left, and that sleeve came out so fast. I have never knitted a sleeve so fast, because I think I was on a endorphin, like let's finish this. And so I did. I'll pop up, and you can see it's a little bit boxy, which I really like. I think the pattern called for even boxier, but okay, I don't like that kind of an oversized look, so this is enough for me. So you can see that this is the ease quite a lot. And yeah, the arms are really nice, long, big, balloony, and that really is comfortable and nice. The neck is a new one for me as well. It's kind of like a half boat, half, I don't know what you would call it, but it's also kind of nice. It's not too warm in my neck. So all in all, really great. So that was the Tekla. That was my first finished object, and Tekla has been my oldest whip for a while. So now that's crossed off the list. Not in any order of actually finishing it, the next finished object is my rainbow top. Now, I had this idea for a long time to make a top, a tank top that didn't have a lot of picking up stitches and finishing off stitches after the fact. And that gave me this idea. I talked a lot about it in the last video, but it gave me this idea of a provisional cast on for the shoulders, and then a I-cord, joint I-cord for both edges, a picking up stitches in the front or the middle and the armholes that also included a I-cord, so an I-cord pickup or I-cord cast on, I think it's called. That resulted in a top that was, when you had knitted all the parts of the top, it was done. And for me, going in and finishing off edges is sort of the least of my... the thing that I am least excited about ever in my life. So that was really great. The front of the top, as you can see, is a little bit lower than the back. And last time I was over here somewhere, yeah, and then I had knitted a lot on the body. I had another green in mind when I think I saw you last. That was too light for me. So I chose the darker green and then even a darker green after that. So as you can see, it's Rainbow Top is the name because I have a lot of these leftover bits and pieces from my doodle tee that I could then, not in a true rainbow fashion, but at least from light to dark, which I really like. The thickness of the stripes is really dependent on how much I had left. So they're all wonky, but I really like that scrappiness. And then I finally ended up with an I-cord in the end, like that. You can barely see, yeah, you can see it a little bit like that. This top is now ready to be blocked. It might be a little bit long, but I will wear it with probably like a shirt, like a white shirt underneath and the top on top. So we'll see how long that'll be. Or just jeans when it becomes a little bit warmer. But there you go. I'm really excited and I'm really happy with how it looked. And for me, this was a exercise in, can I make a construction that I have in my mind out on an actual real piece of fabric or a piece of clothing? And yeah, I think that was a success. Will it be a pattern? Who knows? At least I did it and I'm very proud of myself. So the Rainbow Top by me. The poncho. Before I start in all the new whips that I have started this month, it'll bring me to the poncho. The poncho we had talked about long and extensively. But my poncho that I made for the Advent this last year then, in December, I didn't follow a pattern, I followed my own pattern, and that turned out to be a little bit wonky construction when it comes to the increase rates. And you had like sort of like a balcony where none of my body parts really naturally balconied. I ripped it all out. I didn't rip all of it out. I ripped out from the start of the pink, and then I decided not to increase anymore and also switch around colors. I have spoken about this before a lot, I think, but now you can see, like, I will not speak about this more. It is now finished, it is now blocked, and I must say the blocking made it all drape out really nicely. I finished off with a rolled cast off hem because it's stockinette, it tends to roll, so I rolled it like the other opposite side. It's a little bit hard to explain, but the cast off is really just simple and it becomes this, not an I-cord, but it comes with a little bit like, a little bit of a good sort of edge on it. And as you can see, no arm hems or mud or hem. I will leave it like that, and when I start wearing more and more next season, I'll see if I go in and actually like put the arms in. But right now it's a little bit hard for me to understand where I would have it and if I need it and if I want it. So I will wear it first of all myself without it and enjoy it. and then we'll see what we do in the fall if we do anything of it. But look at those colors, it's beautiful. And that is what I leave from this project that I had to redo once, although it was quite nice to knit it twice actually when I had this much effort, and I loved it so much. So there you go. The poncho is now done and dusted the second time around. All right. My start of projects and finish of projects has been quite high this month, and that is because all I started was very like small projects. What I tend to do, and what I now see as a sort of pattern in my knitting, is that of course in the fall I'm so excited about sweaters. 1st of September is the official fall sweater cast on day, and I cast on so many sweaters and I knit so many sweaters last fall, as you have seen, or go back and see that. And that comes to a point where in December, when I did this poncho, and it was a lot of knitting every day, so you get quite saturated from the knitting every day, and I had also Vlogmas, and it was a lot of things. Then January comes around and you start finishing stuff. I had some blankets that I finished, like big projects, which was really great as well. And then February comes along. And then I go, I don't want to knit big projects anymore. I want to have quick, fast, endorphin hits of energy bursts. So, and I realized I need some socks. So I need a sock, I need a hat. And as you now will see when I start talking about the things I cast on, I'm starting to look ahead for spring and summer, which is so excited. And this sunlight does not help, of course, with that kind of thing. Right, so finished rambling. I made a hat. Ta-da! I've made a hat, I started a hat and I finished a hat in like 2 days. Now, this hat you can see is quite plain. Not plain. You've seen a ribbed hat. It's a ribbed hat, guys. It's a ribbed hat. There you go, and you can wear it like so, or you can flip around and like so. Okay, let me put it on. It's perfect for me. I have a very small head. There you go. Or you can go like a slouchy thing and wear it like a cool kid, which I won't do because I'm not anyway. But what is different with this hat, and I didn't follow a pattern. And since I didn't follow a pattern, I didn't know how many stitches I would cast on. So I didn't cast on. And I started from the top. Now, we all know about the Musselburgh hat. We have talked and seen, and I haven't knitted one yet, but I will definitely do, because I have one skein that is just like screaming Musselburgh hat. So I will buy that pattern. I will knit that pattern. But that is a stockinette, and if you don't know what Musselburgh hat is, it's a hat where you start from the crown on one side, you increase with a certain increase rate. I don't know what that is because I haven't read the pattern, but it's stockinette and you increase, and depending on what you have as a gauge and what you want as a final hat size, you increase a certain amount of times, which the pattern would tell you. Then after that, you knit flat all the way until you then start decreasing again, and you have this tube. Now this is not a tube, but you sort of you multiply that by 2, so you get a tube, and then you fold it back into itself. A Musselburgh hat is knitted usually, as I see it, or what I've seen, with fingering weight. And by then folding it double inside itself, it gets like a little bit of thickness. Then you can also put a rim on it, so you fold it again to get like a little bit of rim. My version of that is then not a stockinette stitch, it's a ribbed. And that makes the increase rate, of course, a little bit more problematic, because you have increases on every other increase you have on a knit stitch and every other increase you have on a purl stitch. So I played around with how to do that, and that was quite fun. I like the way it looks because it turned out this one column of one knit and all the increases come out from there, and it was quite nice. I knitted my hat then in DK weight, held double. I think if you are not new here and you know what I've knitted this year, you can spot and you can see that the yarn that I used is the Drops Fiesta. One strand white held together with one strand of the Purple Madness, the exact same yarn that I used for my Heartside cardigan that I finished a couple weeks ago. I had some left over, and it took exactly one 50-gram ball of each color. And I love it. And the good thing with this pattern was then that I could really see and feel how many increases I needed for my head, which was nice. And then I could just continue until it was long enough, or in this case, until the yarn ran out. And I finished it off with my favorite rolled hem, Italian cast off, it's called, which made the rib or the rim really lovely and really nice. So that's my first sort of fast object that I finished. Super happy about that. The top-down hat, I call it, but hey, I suck at naming things. So if you have any ideas, if I should put this up as a pattern, what should I call it? I don't know. We'll see. Right. Then, as I said, I needed some socks. So when I did that hat, I started a sock with the same Fiesta in a different color code or color yarn, with the same natural white as a contrast color, and here they are. Let me take them off. I've been wearing them, so don't judge me. They are very loved and very worn. There you go, that's my sock. When I do socks, I'm not experimental in my socks. I've tried a couple of heels and I have some issues with the heels, and I will come to that because I'm actually starting another pair of socks. But when I want to knit just socks plain, and I have in this case 50 grams of this nice super fun green pink colorway, I tend to knit my socks toe up. I see the point of doing cuff down if you have enough yarn, and if you just don't care that you are not going to finish your yarn or are scared that you will finish your yarn way too quickly. I get that, and most patterns are from cuff down. And if you want to do a special heel, like a gusset or a strong heel or anything like that, yeah, you have to start from the top, you go down. I do tend to use the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which you can do either way. And since I usually do it with yarn that I am afraid of running out, I do it from the toe up. That's just what I do. This is a toe up start. I usually do Judy's Magic cast on. Instead, I did a Turkish cast on. And, ladies and gentlemen, I swear I will never do Judy's Magic cast on ever again since I saw this Turkish cast on. I saw it on Instagram. I cannot tell you who it was. It was a Finnish Instagram actually, because she spoke Finnish. But I don't know who it is, and I'm sorry I can't give her credit for it. But if you Google it, you'll probably find multiple ways of doing it. I think I will put up a short on how I did it. So look for that. It might come this week. But it's so easy, and there's no flipping and flopping. You basically just wrap around the yarn on your needles, and it's just It's magical in itself, but it's so much easier. And you can get a perfect, you can see, that's the line of cast on. It's perfect. There is no way you knew that that was not just knit straight out. I'm speechless, which doesn't happen often. After that, it's a normal toe. You increase every other row. I increase then 4 stitches 2 and 2 using magic loop when I knit, and I use the white neutral off-white yarn to start the toe. Then I hooked up the Fiesta color, sorry, both are Fiestas, but the Fiesta, the fun colorway I hooked up. And then I knit, since this is DK weight, I usually knit my socks in finger weight. I didn't know how many rows I needed to do, so I just simply measured my foot. I measured how much the toe was, subtracted the toe from the heel, because the Fish Lips Kiss heel is basically making a toe again, as you can see. Can you see that? There. So I said, okay, so whatever this is, it will be the heel, and then I would take out 1 centimeter from the middle, because you want some ease and tension on the yarn, and that's my middle. That's how I do it. It turns out perfect every time. You don't have to be more exact than that, I would say. And then of course I try it on to see, okay, I'm sort of at where my heel starts to start. Okay, then I took the neutral yarn again and made my Fish Lips Kiss heel. I know this is someone that has actually made this pattern. I cannot tell you how I did it, because you're gonna supposed to buy her pattern, so go ahead and do that. It is a wrap, like a shadow wrap heel and a short row heel together. You can do any type of short row heel, I'm sure. And after that, I knitted until I had my 50-gram ball, my half of my 50-gram ball done. And then I did some ribbing in the top. I have blocked these. They became a little bit bigger than what I intended it to be, but they are perfect house socks on top of normal socks, which I usually do when it comes to DK weight. So it's, yeah, it's warmth, but it's very, very cozy. And then that's it. That's a sock. And then I made 2, because I have 2 feet. Very good. So I'm gonna put them back. You see my feet enough right now. I call them my Fiesta socks. They are a very normal DK way of making socks. I am not gonna talk about that more. Those are my finished objects. So this month, when it comes to like stash, I've finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 finished objects in February, which is crazy. So let's talk stash before we move on to new exciting things. All of those finished objects came out to 1,359 grams of yarn. I didn't calculate any more or less of the poncho, so that stays the same, but all the others, plus that I threw out the rest of the yarn from the Tekla, which I said I was gonna be doing. I don't have any new projects in mind, and I don't want to keep them just for the sake of it. So all in all, 1,359 grams of yarn. Coming in from January at 13,183 grams of yarn. That will be this amount left. I am very happy about that. I will buy a lot of yarn in March because I've been a good girl so far. So I'm still heading for the goal of 10,000 grams left in my stash, but it won't be as fast as this rate of January, February, which is completely fine. Okay, cool. Let's talk new whips. Thursday, so a couple of days ago, I finished up, I think, the Fiesta socks and the hat, and it was just like it was a finishing off party. And I was left with 2 whips. They are my oldest whip that you've seen many times before. It's the Citrine Light. Last week we talked about Citrine Light and the fact that I needed to do I didn't need to do it, but I planned to pick up the stitches for the arms because I talked about how I did it for the Tekla, and I was happy that I had picked up both arms at the same time for the Tekla, so finishing one sleeve and then starting the second was super fast, and I think that's why I finished it so fast. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do that as well for the Citrine Light. Start one arm, pick up the second one, and then leave that. And then I asked, do you have any other advice? And one of you came through, and you of course said, oh, but what about parallel knitting? And I go, yeah, duh, great idea. What about it? That would be great. So I did. I picked up one sleeve, I picked up another sleeve, and then I put them together on a very long cord. And I started parallel knitting the sleeves. So it's gonna be a little bit wonky now to see this, but if you see it like this is how much I've come in then 2 weeks on my Citrine Light sleeves. I'm halfway done. Both sleeves. I mean, it's great. It takes a bit longer, of course, because you have to do 1 row each to get through a row. But all I hear to myself is that I never have to knit that row again, because if you knit 2 sleeves, you have to knit that row again, if that makes sense. I have a lot of row counters all through this project, keeping the body on hold for now. And the row counters are really there, of course, because I don't need to actively think about when I need to decrease, how many decreases I have left, because it's all on the row counter. I decrease every 6 row, so that's fine. And then I have a row counter telling me how many decreases I have left. 19 to start with, I think it was, and now, as you can see, my stitch marker is on the first ring, meaning I have the whole chain left. It's 10 decreases. And that makes sense because 19 starting, 10 left, I am halfway through, and that is also sort of where I am with my sleeve. I haven't tried it on. I should, but I'm planning to try it on when I am finished with the ball. I have 2 of these hooked up, so that's good, and they're almost done, as you can see. So I will definitely have to start on 2 new balls for the sleeves. So I think what I will do is I will finish the 2 balls and then put the sleeves on hold for a bit. And then I will do some more on the body. And at that point I will try it on and see how it goes. That's just to keep it interesting. It's not that I easily get bored, but you all want a little bit of variation in your life. So that's what I think I will do. And it's going to be quite exciting to try on and do some body knitting. I don't have many like stockinette projects. I had quite a lot, you know, with the poncho, with this, with all the others, but I don't have that right now. So doing some body stockinette for me right now is quite okay. So that's a Citrine Light from Emily Green. I really like this pattern still. As I said last time, I'm letting it take its time. I'm not in a hurry, and that's a new thing for me because I'm enjoying this project. Like, I enjoy the process of knitting it so much that I don't necessarily just knitting it to finish it, which is nice. I think that's really nice. I don't know. It doesn't happen often. So that was number 1. And then I had another whip that I started a week ago, I think. And that's just really something, sometimes when I go and wonder like, what should I knit next? And specifically when I started finishing so many things, I had not an urge to start new things, but a sense of what should I start now? So I went to my stash cabinet and I looked at it. And I saw this. I saw that. And since green and pink is my favorite color, and since we were going into spring, pastels, lovely, it really drew me to this. It's really, really, it's like lace weight. It's teeny tiny and it's cotton. And I bought it from the store just because of the color. I had no clue what I was going to do for it. I bought 2 of them. So I was like, oh, I'll hold it double. What do I don't know. And then I saw that and I was like, ooh, I always plan to make a bag with this. How do I make a bag with those 2 together? Well, I crochet around the macrame cord using the very teeny tiny yarn, and then I make I make a bag out of it. So I did. This is loosely based on Lankava bag tote, rag tote. And they are not using macrame cord, they're using some rags, some sort of like rug rags, and then they loosely crochet on top of it with a single chain single stitch, and I'm using all single stitches to cover the macrame fully because they don't cover the rug rag, I don't know what to call it. The reason why I did that is because I want the colors to shine more than the macrame cord, and I necessarily don't need to look at the macrame cord at all. So I made some kind of a baseline, and now I'm just crocheting up, 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 up. It's gonna be quite a big bag, but I was thinking it could be a project bag or a, like a tote. And a tote needs to be quite wide, I think. When you stretch it out, it's getting shorter, of course, so the more I have in it, the shorter it's going to be. So this is quite a good size, I think. So now I'm just crocheting around it. 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Nope, 2.5 millimeter crochet hook using this cotton yarn from Alison and May. It's a supermarket yarn. It's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. Makes sense. But yeah, this is something I just chug along in the evenings when I'm sick of knitting, which happens sometimes, believe me, it does, even for me. And I love the colors, so that's quite exciting actually to be doing. Those were 2 whips, and then I was like, well, I can't just have 2 whips because I am me. So therefore I started 2 new whips. And it's all stash yarn, which was also great for me. I'm going to Amsterdam in a little bit. End of March, I'm going to Amsterdam, and I'm gonna, buy some good chunk of yarn there. So I decided that right now I'm gonna focus on getting stash out. Bits and pieces yarn that I don't have clear vision for. That was my sort of go-to when I went to my yarn stash. That resulted in 2 started projects. Number 1, a pattern that I saw on Instagram that was really exciting, of a sock. And I knew I had a 50-gram ball of Fabel, Drops Fabel, which is a sock yarn, fingering weight sock yarn. 75% wool, 25% polyamide. In a pattern that I didn't know what was gonna get. So it was a complete mystery for me when I bought this ball, and it was a mystery for me when I started this project. It's no longer a mystery to me because I can tell you that it's really cool and it's really nice. And this pattern, feel the heel pattern. I saw the sock. I was like, cool, there's some rib action in the toe and in the leg. And then there's this weird kind of a shadow heel that I'd never seen before, which I wanted to try. So this time I did start from the cuff and I will go down. Since I only had 50 grams and this sock definitely needs more than that, specifically if you use the same yarn for the heel, I chose to do the cuff since it was a stockinette double cuff. Another type of drops yarn that I had in my stash that I thought was gonna be nice to the pattern, as you now can see, and this is Drops Flora. It is not a polyamide yarn, it's 100% or even some alpaca, but since I'm not using it for the heel and I'm not planning to do it for the toe if I don't need to, I can live with having a non-polyamide or non-nylon wool yarn in my sock. So you start with a stockinette. And then you go on to the rib. It's a 2x1 rib. I'm not going to talk too much about that because there's a pattern of it. So that's really nice. So can you see the cool stripes? And then this feel the heel comes about. It's sort of a mashup of everything. It's a strong, it is a strong heel, I think, but it doesn't start from a point, which the Vanilla Is the New Black sock starts from like 2 points and it goes out. It has a little bit of a thicker wedge in the back where the increases comes along. Then you do some short rows knitting, some normal knitting, and then you start decreasing again. So you have this heel that you get, and then after that you start on the foot. Normally I do 64 stitches. This pattern didn't have 64 stitches, so I did 66 stitches. Since it didn't have a rib in the top, I thought 66 stitches in the top needs to be happening because my calves are not thick, but on the thicker side, I would say. Anyway, so that was good. That turned out well. But then, first of all, I really enjoyed the heel. It was fun. It's a lot of knitting and it's going to take a lot of time. So it's not like the quickest knit I've done in my life. But I think my feet doesn't need such a strong heel with a high instep. You can see it's a lot of extra fabric that comes along. My dainty feet doesn't need this much. So I tried it. I tried it on and I realized there's a lot of extra just space that I don't need. So, although I really like the fit, I think I would like the fit if it's a little bit smaller. And I really, really like the pattern of the stripes. Can you see how perfect it lines up with the short rows there? That's just a chef's kiss. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to do that again, which I'm not 100% sure at the moment. But I will take back the whole heel until the rib. And then I will do 4 extra decreases, I think I calculated, and go into the next size under, or even the size after that, to create the heel. I think actually I will go to the smallest size, create the heel, and then increase a little bit more to get sort of a 64 stitch foot. Does that make sense? I think so. But anyway, I will try to make the heel a bit smaller and try it again. And then we'll see. So next time I can tell you if that worked out or not. But can you appreciate how good that lines up? And this was by accident. But okay, we'll see how the new one will line up. But I recommend the pattern. So if you want to try a new type of heel, do so. It's really fun. And after that, I will knit the foot until it's 25 grams left. I will do the toe in something else, either the same Flora or something else that I can find, but probably the Flora. And then we'll do it all over again. So there you go. So that was the sock that I then wanted to start, and then finally I did some Ravelry dumping. That sounds bad. Sometimes I go into Ravelry and I see what's new. I do a random search and I see what comes up. And I found a pattern called Storn Away Tea. Really enjoyed looking at it, and it called for like a linen type of yarn. I think even Sandnes Line, which is a linen yarn with something in it. I didn't have anything like that, and we didn't want to buy something yet. I will definitely buy cotton and linen yarn for the t-shirts and the tops for the summer. But I did have some fingering weight drops merino baby, what's it called? Stop guessing. Drops baby merino. I did have some of this. And this yarn, a bunch of colors. I have it from my Battenberg blanket that I finished like in June. That has become really, really, like, you've watched it like crazy this last month. I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much. And everyone that's new from that video, hi, welcome. I love to have you here in my weird place on the internet. Please watch other videos as well, because I don't only do Battenberg blankets. Anyway, so I had a lot of this yarn, and these are the colorways, like nice blues and purples. So I thought that would be great in this stripe formation, and I have a bunch left of the white base yarn. So I started on Thursday with the back, because it's sort of a drop shoulder, although it's not drop shoulder, it is from this point of shoulder, but it's a back piece, pick up front piece, join, and then join it around, and then do the body and the sleeve, kind of t-shirt, but with stripes. We all know that I love myself a stripe. I love that for me. And also textured stripes. So the bits of colors are just like a couple of rounds of normal stockinette, and then the white in between is sort of like a textured stripe. So that was really fun, and it was so much fun that I'm so far on it. It's crazy. I have a lot going on, so bear with me. Here you can see the starting point of it. After I did the back, I actually blocked it, because when you have a structured pieces with a lot of purling in between, it goes like an accordion. So I wanted to see so there's enough space and that it'll look good. So I blocked it, and I like really blocked it, and it turned out really good, and it turned out the exact size that I needed to. So that's where you see the color palette. I'm starting with a blue, which you barely can see, but I'm doing a rib, and the neck will probably open that up. So I started with the blue, then I do the burgundy, pink, purple, and then green, and then I'll start with the blue again after this. After the back, you pick up the stitches for the front piece, 2 of them, and you knit that in, and then you pick up quite a lot of stitches in the front. And it's a very high neckline, so it's not a lot of neckline. It's not a lot, the neck is quite high. And then you join that, and then suddenly you are so far that you join into a round. And I was like blowing my mind. And this morning I wanted to do something else, and I wanted to see, I tried it on first of all, and I wanted to see how the sleeves will look. So I also picked up for the sleeves, and I started for the sleeve. And there's one, so there's 2, the pattern says 2 color stripes. I will see if I do a third as well, to see sort of it, so it goes low enough that I do the sleeve that I want to. I tend to want to have a little bit longer sleeve when it comes to t-shirt, because of that it makes me more comfortable, and I think it's nicer to wear. Also in a setting like the office, it's nicer to have a little bit longer t-shirt. Then maybe other places. Anyway, as you can see in the front, you can see this accordion effect. So this is really where you have to block it out to show all the colors, but that'll be fine. And then I will pick up the neck at one point as well. Now, I don't have enough white, I think. I have to then buy more, but that's not something I would like to do. To do the ribbed, the neck and the sleeves, and the rib in the bottom with the white. So I will see how far I've come and used my white on the body as much as possible, and if I have to buy more, I have to buy more, and then I can finish off it with white rib as well. But I don't think necessarily you have to have a white rib, neck, sleeves and hem, body. You can also take any other color that I have enough left over, or yeah, so I have a lot of the green. I have another one of those. I have also yellow that may or may not look good as well. So I'll see. I think I decided already now that I won't do the white because I think that would look nice with something else. Could do the blue, which is the starting color as well. It would be really bright, or I could do any of the others that I have more thing. Or why not different colors all around the place? That could also be fun. So we'll see how that goes. The only problem is I would love to finish the neck now, but I can't. So I'll finish the sleeves, I work on the body, and then I think this is going so fast that I'm like, I'm done already. In my mind, I'm already done. This was all basically done yesterday. Half a t-shirt. Oh. All right. Cool. That's my last unfinished object. Whip, it's so called. That's it. That's a lot. I've really enjoyed the last 2 weeks of knitting. I love everything I do at the moment, and that is not always the case, of course. You get bored of the things you knit, but at the moment I really enjoy everything I knit, which is really fun. Going forward in March, it's going to be quite the same. I think my rag tote will take a while because it's crochet, and when I crochet a lot, I still get quite, like, my hands are not used to it. So that'll be a while. I'm hoping Citrine Light will be finished in March because I'm so close to sort of seeing the end, and when I see the end, I get hyper focused on things. So I think I will finish it. I'm halfway done in sleeves, as I said, and then body will be quite quick. What else? Well, the t-shirt, I'm just really hyper focusing on it right now. I'm gonna finish the sleeve today for sure, finish off a couple other things on it as well probably, and that's gonna be great. I will now rip back the heel, on the heel, and that's gonna be some of my bring to work, bring to the car project kind of situation. And then we'll see what I start next. Do you have any spring, let's start with spring patterns that you feel like you want to start knitting that would sort of suit me as well, or just share, please share. I love when you comment, and you started actually commenting now, and it's so much fun. So share what you guys are doing, so maybe I can check that out as well. I know that there will be some kind of acrylic yarn stash blanket thing soon. So if you have any ideas for that, because I would love to start a little bit bigger project as well, to get me through sort of the spring and summer. So before I start knitting all the sweaters again to the fall. As always, I wish you all the joy in your knitting and all the joy in your life. Go outside and enjoy the weather if that is what if you have this kind of weather as I do. And otherwise, coffee and a cookie is always great as well. I see you in 2 weeks. And until then, bye!